My name is Bertrand Bonello. I'm a French movie maker, and I'm here at TIFF to present a film called The Beast. It's a melodrama that takes place in 2044, a film in which AI is very involved. And it's a story of a couple that missed themselves during many past lives. And so there is some scenes in 1910, some scenes in 2014, and well, I hope the film is a trip. The first idea, I mean, the film is made with a lot of desires, but the first idea was to do a melodrama, which is something I'd never done before. So that drove me to the short novel of Henry James, The Beast in the Jungle, because for me it's like one of the most heartbreaking, beautiful and awful story you can imagine. And then I wanted to mix this with some genre movie. Because like in the novel of James, I mean, love and fear are so related. So I wanted to have some fear scenes, and there is almost a slasher movie inside this film. And the other thing that came quite quickly is the desire to do a film for the first time in my life in which the main character is the female character, and that's how I started to write. I know her for a long time. She's been in two of my previous films, even the parts were smaller. But for a long time, we're searching for an idea to go back together, to work together. And for me, Léa is the only French actress that was able to do the three parts of the film, the 1910, 2014, and the future one, because something in her is very timeless. She crosses ages. She's very modern and she fits in everything. But also, Léa, even if you know her well, when you're in front of her, you don't know what's inside her mind. And this mystery, I mean, I needed it for the film, and I think camera really loves this kind of mystery faces. And George, well, the film was written for Léa and Gaspard Ulliel, who passed away like a few weeks before the shoot. So I decided to do the film, but not to replace him with a French actor. So there's no comparison. So I started like a basic English and American casting process. And then I met Jordan in London, and after 2 or 3 minutes of casting tests, I mean, I knew he was the one, because what he did as an actor was just amazing, but I really liked his eyes, his presence and stuff like that. So I brought him back to France just to see him and Léa together. But for me, they made just the perfect couple. George is just probably the best actor I've worked with. Now he does, but when we met, no, not a word. But he really wanted to learn French because he didn't want to play in phonetic way. He really wanted to act, you know. So it's quite incredible what he did in a few months. I started writing like 4 or 5 years ago, and I knew a little about that, but I knew there are some ethical and moral problems and stuff like that. But I couldn't imagine that when the film was finished and ready to be screened, it would be so contemporary. Because this spring, I mean, everybody was talking about that, all the headlines and stuff like that. And now we're in festivals where our actors are doing strikes because AI is the heart of the negotiation in the States now. So I couldn't imagine the film would be so contemporary. Of course, it's obvious to know that it is a tool and a danger. Now it's becoming more a danger than a tool. But first, one of the difficulties is to say, okay, there might be three stories, but it's only one story. Three characters, but it's only one character. And I was trying to show a kind of evolution, even evolution of feelings, you know. Like in 1910, all the feelings are really expressed in discussions, talking. In 2014, they cannot be expressed the same way, and that's why it gives the character of George in this period this kind of incel, schizo, crazy guy. And 2044, there's just uh, um, do not exist anymore, the feelings, you know. So for each period, I was trying to mix like a collective drama and a personal drama, and to make an evolution. Yeah. The dilemma that Léa Seydoux has to face in the future is either you want like a real interesting job, but you have no more feelings. Either you can keep your feelings and emotions, but you'll be like a useless person. It's just a quite horrible dilemma. Well, I try to think about that very early during the screenwriting. Um, I am doing my own music, so it's very easy to start to think it very early. But if I'm writing a scene, for example, and I think the scene will need some music, I stop writing. I go into my studio and start to find the sounds, the color, and stuff like that. And I go back. It's like a ping pong, you know, between music and words, and that's why they, I hope, fit together. I don't want music to come and be, you know, like an illustration, but I want it to be narrative, like a dialogue or a description and stuff like that. And even for the music, which I don't do, like the music in the clubs and stuff like that, I really take time to choose the perfect song that is not just a song I like, but that means something for the characters. I like films that leave you a little open, you know. I prefer questions than answers. And I guess the film goes on this way, you know, it leaves more questions than it gives answers. But at the end, well, it's a melodrama. So, of course, I guess you feel pain for her and even for us, for the future, for the idea of the future. I like the idea of trip, not only between periods, but also like a physical trip or a sensorial trip. I guess it's what I'm looking for when I'm watching a film, so it's what I'm trying to offer to people.